And did you, along what Mr. Galata was thinking and the line that Mr. Soni was asking, did you think that that was a price that you had to pay? That's why you take up this attitude that you have taken up. Not in your answer now, but what you have stated in paragraph 70. Did you think that was a price that you had to pay?
No, I don't regard it as a price I had to pay. It's the issue I was trying to say with the price was that, and it's really, I think, borne out by was it a Zapo judgment on the amnesty for the, or not being able to, the Steve Biko murder. And, you know, the people and the Kalatas, the Bikos, were not able to prosecute. Well, they could have in the Kalata matter, but in the Biko matter, let's put it this way, people who got amnesty, their families were not able to have those perpetrators sent to jail. That's the price that had to be paid.
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Milat?
Yes, thank you. One question. Mr. Jeffrey, Mr. Varney interrupted you when you were talking about the relationship between truth and justice. It's an issue that you've raised a number of occasions, also in relation to answering Mr. Soni's question. I'm wondering if you want an opportunity to elaborate on what you mean, or you feel it's been covered.
No, thanks for that, if I may, Commissioners. I mean, obviously the whole TRC process was an issue of truth versus justice. When Magnus Milan was acquitted at the Kwamakuta trial, the chair of the TRC, I've got it on the phone, but made a comment about truth and justice. But it plays itself out in terms of, in our situation, our historical context, there's a large number of people who are missing, whose family, like Nokuthula Simelane, whose families don't know what happened to them. And Sporpewa would be another one. And that must be, I mean, for me, is terrible. Now, in the TRC process, people came forward and gave information around what happened and where the remains were disposed. My recollection is that with the PEBCO 3, that they had acid poured over them, and then those remains were poured into a water tanker on some farm. And that water tanker was drained, and I think by the Missing Persons Task Team, and they found DNA evidence that there were the remains here. Now, unless one of the perpetrators had said, this is the water tank we put the remains in, those would never have been recovered. So a lot of the issues are around people coming forward. A big mistake, I think, was there was an impasse on the prosecution policy, with it being struck down because it did try and provide for allowing people to disclose. And then there was a problem of paralysis from government, not knowing what to do, and in the end, nothing was done. But that basically closed the door, I think, my own perception, is on the possibility of people coming forward still, before they die, wanting to come clean, to say, okay, this is what we did to this or that activist. And so the discovery of the remains of missing people, that's also in the last 20 years ground to a halt. And even, I mean, you know, the issue, Reggie Hadebe, I would love to know, okay, I know what happened, I was there, I went to his funeral, so I know what happened with it to his body, but I would still love to know who did it. Was it Inkatha warlords, one of the local in Nkosi? Was it other issues? Things were quite murky in KZN, as was shown by you know, the exposure of Sfiso Nkabinda and what he then got up to. So I don't know. I'd love to know. Now, I haven't suffered the pain of losing a family member, so definitely the people that are most important in that matter are the Hadebe family. But and I haven't discussed what their view is. But I'm saying the question is one of, for me personally, one of the greatest problems is the tragedies, is people not knowing, particularly where the remains are, and then what the reasons were and who did it. You know, you can get and I think I refer to it a bit in the transcript, the dice is weighed in the favor of an accused in terms of guilt beyond reasonable doubt. So you can commit a crime, you can get acquitted. You can have, as you'd know, a judge or a magistrate saying, I think you're guilty, but I can't say so with beyond reasonable doubt, and therefore I've got to acquit you. Because an acquittal is not a finding of not guilty. You know, yeah, so it's a complicated area is what I'm saying. And it's not just for me prosecutions. The issue of finding the truth is also something very important.
Thank you, Ms. Millat.
Thank you. I have nothing
Thank
further.
you.